Are you wondering why your life seems to be at a standstill? Are you wondering why you can't seem to take two steps forward? Because every time you take two steps forward, you get pushed back three more steps. Well, today I encourage you to give yourself permission. And you're saying, give myself permission? Permission to do what? Permission to live. Permission to feel. Permission to hurt. Permission to love. Permission to be loved. Too many times we are so caught up in our own lives, believing that we have control over the things that happen in our life. We should be absolutely certain during this period that we're going through right now that we have no control. We have no control over our life because our life does not belong to us. So I encourage you to give yourself permission to relinquish your control. Be willing to relinquish your control so that you can be used to do the things that you have been created to do. And in order to be used, you have to give yourself permission to be misused. You have to be willing to go through the process. I remember before I actually met my current husband, I remember sitting at the end of my bed in my new apartment after I moved back to Springfield. I remember sitting at the edge of my bed, and I just simply said, Tara, I give you permission to be hurt. Not give you permission to be loved. I give you permission to be hurt. Why did I say I give you permission to be hurt? Because I had experienced hurt. So now I know how to hurt. I know how to go through the pain behind hurt. But I could not find peace, joy, happiness. I couldn't get unstuck until I gave myself permission to be hurt. Because I had this wall up. I had my guards up because I was refusing to let anybody, anything hurt me again. So I was on guard. I was in defense mode. Then I realized I was holding myself hostage. I was holding my dreams hostage. I was holding my goals hostage. I was holding my peace hostage. So I sat there and I said, Tara, I give you permission to be hurt. So when I gave myself permission to be hurt, guess what? I gave myself permission to be loved. And I gave myself permission to love. See, when you got your guards up and you got your defenses up, you're not letting anyone in. And if you don't let anyone in, then you can't experience the joys or the pains or the hurts, whatever. You can't experience life because you're in bondage. You have your dreams and your goals and your emotions. You got them held up. So I encourage you today to give yourself permission. Give yourself permission to hurt. Because most of us have been hurt in some type of way, in some form. And if you're still hurting behind those hurts, then you have to give yourself permission to heal. Give yourself permission to grow through the hurt. You have to ask God to give you strength so that you can go through the process of healing so that you can be free. You have to ask God, what is it that I need to learn in this season so that you can live in peace? But give yourself permission. Give yourself permission to love. I know you probably have said, no, I'm not loving anybody else and I'm not living. I'm not. But let's start right here. Give yourself permission to love yourself and to love yourself enough to free yourself. Relinquish the control and go through the process. Our life is full of emotions. So yes, we're going to be hurt. Yes, we're going to be frustrated. Yes, we're going to be angry. But guess what? Yes, we're going to be loved. Yes, we're going to be appreciated. Yes, we're going to be cared for. But you have to give yourself permission to experience all of the emotions. You can't keep yourself in bondage trying to protect yourself. So I encourage you to relinquish that control, because control is just an illusion. We have no control, and I can speak that freely because I am still learning to relinquish my control. But at least I'm aware. I'm aware that I do have some control issues. But I've given myself permission. I've given myself permission to be hurt because I've learned how to be hurt. I've given myself permission to love because I've learned how to love. And I learned what love is. I've given myself permission to be loved because I understand that even when I'm being loved, I will experience some hurt or some disappointment or some frustration. But that's okay, because my healing journey helped me to learn how to be loved, how to go through the hurt. So I don't have to sit in my hurt. Yes, I hurt like everyone else, but I don't sit there. I grow through that process so that I can heal. I reach for the joy, because one thing I know that I have is joy. And the joy of the Lord is my strength. So it's okay. It's okay if somebody hurts me. I'm not saying it's okay and I appreciate it. But if I get hurt in the process of my growing, that's okay. Because I know how to hurt and I know how to go through hurt. But we have to give ourselves permission. You have to give yourself permission and then relinquish the control. Because in essence, you don't have the control over your life. And if we haven't learned that any other time, we should have learned that during these last few months. Because everything that we thought we were in control of, our jobs, our finances, our day-to-day activities, gone, changed. Even those who were essential workers, and so who were still able to go to work and having to go to work, still changed. So if we haven't learned any other time in our life, now is the good time to just relinquish the control and give yourself permission. Give yourself permission to grow. I guarantee you there's a lesson in this whole situation that we're in right now. There's a lesson. So give yourself permission to grow. So let me see if I can find it. There was this saying I heard, and I thought it was phenomenal. It says, "Teach me the lesson so I can get the blessing." I was like, that's deep. So I want to share that with you today. In this process, ask God to teach you the lesson so that you can get your blessing. Because the Bible tells us this too shall pass. So we're not going to be in this state forever. But my question to you is, what are you going to do when it's past? What are you going to do with your new opportunities, with your new growth? So while you're working on that, and while you're thinking about that, give yourself permission to grow. Give yourself permission to love. Give yourself permission to hurt. Give yourself permission to grow through the process. Because you deserve it. You deserve it. My grandmother and my mother used to say, what don't kill you will make you stronger. We all should come through this pandemic stronger and wiser. But the one way to do that is to give ourselves permission to go through the process so that we can grow through the process. Asking God to teach us the lesson so we can get the blessing. I believe in you. I believe you can do this because the Bible tells us we can do all things through Christ who gives us strength. So give yourself permission. Give yourself permission to go be great. I'm Miss Tara. I am a motivational speaker. I am an ambassador for Christ. I am the owner of Miss Tara Talks, and I speak life.